So there's a lot of talk, and this has been going on actually for some time, of companies being able to publicly trade shares like an asset of public lands, national parks, wildlife preserves, wetlands, etc., on the New York Stock Exchange. So this actually reminds me of a couple of things. I read somewhere, and this is a long time ago, but I think this was under President Nixon, that that part of the deal was because the United States had so much debt, that part of what they were leveraging, part of what they were proposing to these international bankers was the United States' public lands. And it was something like collateral. If the United States failed to pay their debts, then you had international banks that would confiscate the national parks of the United States. It's similar to what happened in Greece right after the financial crisis after 2008. There were elites that were, in exchange for the bailouts that they were giving Greece, that they were going to actually confiscate some of Greece's islands, some of the islands of Greece. And this is kind of similar. You have a problem in the United States where all over the West, and in the United States to a lesser degree, but particularly in other developed countries, where you have this demographic inversion, where if you look at a demographic pyramid, it looks something like this. You've got more old people than young people. And that means that your velocity of capital, velocity of money, they're going to slow down. And you're going to have something like a deflationary situation like you have in Japan. Japan has sort of like this stagflation where they keep printing yen, and yet the tendency is for deflation because there are fewer and fewer young people. Of course, the solution to all this is just laissez-faire capitalism. You get the central bank out of the equation, allow for either a gold-backed currency or allow individual banks and states to print their own currency, but preferably I would say gold and silver-backed currency, and deregulation and getting rid of the income tax, all that stuff. So, when there's nothing to loot, okay? So, like I said, there's a demographic inversion. There's less for these companies to expand. The American people are already getting fleeced and are probably going to get fleeced a lot more. Other parts of the world have gotten really fleeced. Russia is not allowing this to happen. So they're looking for ways. There are, the globalist corporations, your BlackRocks, your Vanguards, etc., are looking for ways to expand their portfolios. And I think that's one of the drives, it's one of the pushes. They want to take control of the national preserved lands in the United States. Now, it's one of those things, like I said, it's being tugged back and forth. A lot of the states, a lot of the attorney generals in these states have pushed back against this and saying, no, you cannot do this. And the SEC actually stepped in and put a stop to it as of January. But we'll have to see. I mean, this is a constant battle. I made a video about public lands before, and I'm somebody that likes to go outside and go out, in the woods and enjoy nature. And I personally believe that the best solution is to have them privately owned by someone who knows how to take care of it and can charge a fee for people to come in and can maintain it that way. Operate it like a private business with the expectation that they will preserve that land. I think is really probably the best solution to this. I mean, like I said, there's so many problems. You got the problem of the commons. I mean, if it's, quote unquote, publicly owned, it's a question of who takes care of it. You got the issue of these corporations, these globalist corporations trying to push their whole carbon tax thing. And they could be thinking about buying shares of this so they can write off their carbon taxes, if you will. You got the issue of, like I said, using this type of stuff as leverage, because we're so enormously, in debt. So there's a lot of issues. I can hit many different angles. I can talk about this for probably another 10 minutes. But anyway, I'm gonna put links in the description below. So check them out. So I'm just making you aware that this is what's going on.